What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another video on the channel. And in today's video I am going to be reviewing Raya and the Last Dragon. If you guys are new to the channel, be sure to like and subscribe, as it does help out a lot. And yeah, let's just jump right into this. So I just want to start with, I like Raya and the Last Dragon, and I think it's a great movie. I've already watched it 2 times as of when I'm writing this, and I'm writing this on Saturday, which means that, yep, I watched it on Friday and then again on Saturday. But I think that there are a few problems with the movies that keep it from being an amazing movie. And I will be giving you the reasons why it isn't among my top Disney animated movies. First is the world building. I feel like that they did a good job of the world building, but I still was kind of confused. For example, why do we only see like the palace in Heart? Because that insinuates that everybody in Heart lives in the palace, but like that can't be true, right? Because the palace isn't big enough to hold that many people. So then where does everyone else live, and why didn't we see it in a wide shot or something? And we barely explore tail and spine, because when we go to them, they've already been wiped out. So I feel like they could have spent more time with the world, because I think that the world is one of the most interesting parts of this movie. And since the movie was less than 2 hours long, they definitely had the time for it. Overall, for the movie, I think that there was amazing acting and also amazing animation, but I don't really like the animation for Raya's father. I don't know why, but it just like doesn't really um, land for me. But all of the other characters are really likable, and their animation and acting was great. Another problem I have with the movie was Nomari's arc. So we start off with the classic Disney villain betraying the hero, and we are presented with Nomari as a main antagonist. I feel like the start was fine. One problem I have though is, how did the Fang Warriors get to the temple so fast? Because the Mario only shot the flare like 5 seconds earlier, and then soldiers appeared. So were they following her? But if they were, then how come Raya didn't know that they were following them? But I suppose it's all for the pacing and suspense, and I don't really have that big of a problem with it. But as I said, I like the Mari in the start of the movie. Even when we pick back up with her all those years later, I feel like she was good. But another problem with her was her fight against Raya. Now, I know that Namari is a good fighter and all that, but the last time they fought, Raya won, and I feel like they shouldn't have made the fight so one-sided. Raya is the guardian of the Dragon Gem after all, and she might be out of practice, but she should have put up more of a fight than that. And if Namari beat Raya so badly the first time, then how did Raya win their rematch? I know she was angry and all that, but having rage doesn't make you a better fighter. If anything, it should make you a worse fighter, because you will make mistakes in your rage. I just don't like the common trope that someone gets more powerful because they're angry. But I think that the real problem with Namari is her redemption arc. We see that Namari feels responsible for what happens, and we see that her mother is disappointed in her. But for me, I don't think we see enough for her to say that I have to do this when she's holding Sisu at arrow point. They should have added a few more scenes where her mother was disappointed in her and she was folding under the pressure, and then we would understand more why she felt like she had to take Sisu in to fix everything and impress her mother. I also don't like how Raya's sword always seems to come back to her. And this might just be me missing stuff, but I think that she lost it in Tail, I think is what it's called. And she also lost it in her fight with Nomari in Spine, but somehow she always ends up with her sword afterwards. It might be that her sword always magically appears, or it might be that I'm just like missing like her blatantly just pick up the sword or something like that. But if I am missing something, yeah, please let me know in the comments down below. But those are all minor problems. And if a movie only had these problems, I would probably call it amazing. But I feel like the pacing was a bit rushed. But as I said earlier, the characters were amazing. And the story is also really, really interesting. The themes about trust and unity and greed were all amazing in the story. But the reason it's a great movie and not an amazing movie is because of the ending. Now I know Disney is Disney and and they like to keep their endings happy and all that, but good lord, I feel like this movie could have been much, much better with a better ending. So first of all, I should talk about the plot holes because the first time the orb was assembled, the dragons didn't come back. So this time the dragons shouldn't have come back, right? Or if you're saying that the species that assembles the sphere doesn't come back, then the humans shouldn't have came back. My point is that the movie had a way too happy ending, and I feel like that with the themes that they were going for, it shouldn't have been a happy ending, and like not everyone should have came back. The whole start of the movie was that people were divided because there were no dragons, and that they had to come back together despite there being no dragons. So having the dragons come back and then all the humans get along now just cheapens a great accomplishment for the humans. What I would have done was have all the humans come back, but the dragons wouldn't have came back, and the humans learn from this experience that they are better helping out all of each other than fighting each other. I feel like this is how Kumandra should have come back together, or they should have even not have brought back Raya and all of her game back. That way people could see that the people who saved them were one person from each different tribe, and they could all work together to save everyone, then the rest of the humans could have. Having the dragons come back cheapens the emotional payoff for us, and cheapens the accomplishment for the humans. But unfortunately, Disney had to go with a happier ending, where everyone came back to life, and they had to keep them alive to sell toys. And because of that, it cheapens the story for me. But all, the movie was really good. But it could have been much, much better if the story had a darker ending. I feel like because of the themes and the tone of the story of loss and grief and trust problems, they should have gone for a darker ending where not everyone comes back. Now, I will give you guys my number score out of 100. I think that any movie that is amazing should score above a 90, like 90 out of 100. So, as I said before, I think that this movie is almost amazing, but not like up to that caliber. So I'm gonna give it an 87 out of 100. The Rotten Tomato score was 95% for the critics and 84% for the audience. So I'm just somewhere in the middle between the audience and the critics. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you guys did, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Too easy!